Welcome to Study Loop.
So A is asking for the speed of the waves passing through, rather rushing by the fisherman. However, they give us a lot more information in the beginning. So we should write down our givens. They say crest to crest. The fisherman measures a crest of one wave to the crest of another wave. This is going to be equal to the wavelength of the wave, and this is going to be 4.8 meters. As documented by the fisherman. And then it's saying time t taken for highest point to lowest point. This will always be called a half cycle. And then it's saying that it's taking 2.5 seconds. And then a half cycle, if one were to say that a period, t equals period, and this is going to be time for a full cycle, one can say that this half cycle is taking 2.5 seconds. So that means that half of the period t is going to be equal to 2.5 seconds, which means that t is going to be 5 seconds. The period of this is going to be 5 seconds, which means that it takes 5 seconds for a full cycle to pass by the fisherman. And then it's asking us to find amplitude. So amplitude, it's saying it's the boat is bobbing up and down, and it's saying that from the highest point to the lowest point, not only does it take 2.5 seconds, but it's also a distance of 0.53 meters, which means that the amplitude is going to be equal to half this. So this would be your answer for part A, for part B. And then for part A, you simply need to find for part A, you find the speed. And this can be equal to, rather, we can say this is going to simply be equal to the wavelength, 4.8. And then we found the frequency. The frequency can be defined as the reciprocal of the period. So we can just say 1 over t, or we can say equals 4.8, and then this will be 1 divided by 5. This is going to be the 0.96 meters per second. So this will be your answer for part A. This is going to equal the speed of propagation, rather, how fast the waves are passing by the fisherman. And then this will be your amplitude for part B, because it's simply half of the distance from the highest point to the lowest point. And then it's asking us in part C, would any of the if the highest point to the lowest point, high point to low point, if this equaled 0.30 meters instead of 0.53 meters, would any of the previous variables change? And the answer is no. The only thing that would change would be the amplitude. So it would be 2a equals 0.30 meters. A would be equal to 0.15 meters. So instead of 0.265 meters, if the high point to the low point was not 0.53 meters, but rather 0.3 meters, that means that the amplitude would be reduced to 0.15 meters as opposed to 0.265 meters. So all other variables do not depend on amplitude, so it's not as if changing the amplitude would change other variables, but changing the high point to the low point, changing that distance would change only the amplitude again. So this would be your answer for part C. And that's the end of the solution. Thank you for watching.